on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Weigh-In Podcast. I'm joined by my main co-host, Sugar Ray. How you doing, man?
Doing all right, thank you. Heavy weekend of combat sports, a lot of boxing, a lot of MMA, a lot of UFC. So, could be better, could be worse, but I'm happy with it. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm all good. I was going to say, what the energy levels like? You hit the nail on the head. We had a lot of like combat sports over the weekend.
Yeah.
How are you feeling anyway? You all ready and ready to go?
Well, I'm drained of like just swapping through BT. Well, no, they had the boxing on BT Sport with Frank Warren, then had the UFC that was on UFC London, then had the Probellum card that was on Eurosport. So, but we're gonna dive into that. So, yeah.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head, and that's the reason for today's podcast. What we're actually going to talk about today is boxing promotions here in the UK and how many we've got and stuff. Starting off with, as you said, Probellum Boxing signed a deal with Eurosport, and I guess from my side of things, I kind of like it because it's another platform for more boxers to be on. It seems like they're going down the route of we can get some British fighters and the fights are going to be outside of London, outside of the UK. So I guess my initial thing for you, question for you is, what do you think about that particular strategy?
I think that's good to diversify the portfolio. So obviously with Probellum, it was kind of a weird one because I know Wasserman recently announced that they're on Channel 5, BT Sport having Queensbury with Frank Warren. So obviously the zone's there. So I think with Probellum is like another avenue for fighters to have a platform to fight on with exposure. Eurosport comes with a lot of, people that have like Virgin and Sky that comes with that package. So I think it's good just to bring more awareness to boxing. I think just more mainstream boxing, because for me, when people are doing promoter wars, my main thing is, are the boxers going to get more opportunity and get paid? And if they are, then I'm here for it. Obviously, it's like Eurosport is not the most conventional channel in regards to boxing, but like I said, a platform is a platform, and if there's a platform that's accessible to people, then happy for it. I'm most familiar with Eurosport back in the day when I used to watch Goals. Is it Goals?
Is that the Italian thing?
No, it wasn't just Euro Goals. Sorry, Euro Goals. So Euro Goals was just like literally you get the roundup of everything that's happening around Europe. So most people in school were just watching Match of the Day, and then come Monday afternoon, I'll get back home. I believe 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and then they're playing Euro Goals. So you're catching up with like the Italian league, the German league, Spanish league, and then they'll do like one or two other leagues just to throw it in there if they still got time. So, but we digress. But yeah, no, it's good to have that platform. And like I said yesterday, I had the availability to just be flicking through channels at more, at the same time, just going to watching BT Sports Card, to watching Probellum on Eurosport, and then watching UFC as well. So I'm happy for the fighters to get more exposure.
I was going to say, talking on that, we did have a IBF title fight with Sunny Edwards and Muhammad Wasim. I guess when we mentioned in the chat, you were like, I'm not that.
No comment.
Edwards. But for me, I saw the fight,
Mm-hmm.
and I was impressed to an extent with Edwards, but it didn't help that the fact that Wasim had quite a few. It had 2 points deducted, I believe, as well. On that point about fighter exposure, how important was somebody like him in terms of Sunny Edwards defending his belt and then getting the recognition and then just continue to build up his name?
I think sometimes when it's kind of a weird one, because UK market, as much as it is growing, you don't want to oversaturate it. So sometimes it is a case of, go abroad, get your name up. And then sometimes you got to come back to UK with a different angle, different energy. So then people are going to recognize you like, okay, maybe we didn't show him enough love in the beginning, but he's getting all this international love around him, coming back to the UK. And sometimes it has to be like that. Obviously, I'm sure that it's annoying that some UK fighters are like, I'm from here. Why can't the people back me here? But for whatever reason, sometimes it's just like that with certain fighters where you do have to go abroad, cut your trade abroad, and then get your name bigger there, then come back, more names under your defense belt, and then come back and hopefully the crowd embraces you. So it'll be interesting to see.
And talk about crowd embracing and new fighters getting the name. I think one guy that actually has had a lot of people embrace him now is Jack Catterall. And
Yeah,
he's signed with them. In
yeah,
terms of what we've talked about quite a bit about striking while the iron is hot, how important was it for Probellum then on that side to strike while the iron was hot and get him on board, knowing that you can put his name on a card now and you will get people to watch because of all the controversy that's happened?
yeah. I think is very good, but here's my only thing with that: will Jack Catterall get a title shot? Because the rumor is that he was going to face the winner of Pro Grace and McKenna, who Pro Grace came through with a win. But unless for me, unless there's a title shot, are you really striking while the iron's hot? However, at the same time, listen, man, if Jack doesn't get the title shot, but he gets more pay, then he's a prize fighter. Go get more pay. But I think in terms of like, commercial wise, to strike while the iron's hot, it will be imperative to make sure at least one of the governing bodies gives Jack a title shot after he was robbed against Josh Taylor, because that is criminal if he doesn't. If literally none of the governing bodies give him a title shot, that's criminal. Especially, I believe he was mandatory via the WBO or WBA. It was one of them. So I think right now the most important thing for him is get a title shot, and hopefully, if he does get a title shot, then I believe where's he from? Chorley.
Yeah.
Chorley. So I remember we were discussing about what's the next biggest city for him to like maybe have a homecoming, and I believe it was Manny.
Yeah.
So whether it's the AO Arena or maybe if it's just maybe a downside smaller than the AO Arena in Manchester, then you can maybe have a big homecoming for him if he gets that world title shot. So hopefully Probellum can do right by him, and hopefully one of the governing bodies do right by him.
So this is the thing, though. You mentioned about title shots. With the WBO, they dropped into number 3. So he doesn't even get. He's not even one of the 2 mandatories in
Who
that.
is it? Is it Teofimo that gets a title shot,
Teofimo
even though
and
he's
Guillermo
coming up?
Taro. So
They know what they're doing with that. The funny thing is, I called that before Jack Carroll versus Josh Taylor when we all counted out Jack Carroll, but let's not all act like we didn't. At first, I thought they were going to try build Teofimo versus Josh Taylor. So then seeing Teofimo at that high up on the rankings, it wasn't surprising. I still thought that maybe they'll give Teofimo maybe one more like, tune-up fight just to get his confidence back. But if he gets a mandatory, then I guess Teofimo is just going to slot right in there. And yeah, Jack, unfortunately, faces the consequences of that blowback. But like I said, there's other governing bodies as well. I know WBC is going to head to Ramirez since he won that fight with Zapata. And then the other 2, IBF and WBA, I'm not too sure.
And with that, obviously, going on BT side of things, Frank Warren had his night of boxing as well. With that, we had David Avanisham defending his European title. Don't laugh at me, bro. You know I can't.
You got it right.
And then we had Hamza Sharif move up to middleweight as well. They also have, I think, for Frank Warren, having these fight night cards is important to keep pushing Fury White as well.
Yeah.
I guess from my side of things, I guess it was, again, another night where he can showcase his fighters on his card and push them on a billing to probably get into bigger fights later on. Yeah. What did you make of that? Was it another solid night of BT boxing for you?
Here's the thing. I'm not a logistics manager or operations manager for Queensbury, so I can't comment too much on the cost. But I am wondering, I believe it was held at Wembley Arena, wasn't it?
Just double check, but it might have been.
Yeah. Because now I'm starting to wonder, is that arena a bit too big for what they were aiming for?
Yeah, it was Wembley, yeah.
Yeah, and Wembley Arena is one of the biggest arenas before, you get to your O2s. So I was just thinking to myself, was it a suitable venue for them to be hosting that? That's my only thing. I think that's a lot of the time the criticism that's come with Frank Warren's stable is that some of the shows is like, why would you host it where you hosted it? sometimes they're known to get it quite wrong. So hopefully they get it right sooner or later, because I know they've also announced Zach Parker against Demetrius Andrade at
Yeah.
168, and that's going to be at Derby's home ground. So that's going to be exciting to see, and see like just how big of a following Parker has, to see if he can fill out that Derby Stadium. I'm sure whether they want to admit it or not, they must have seen the success with the zone that Lee Wood had with the Nottingham crowd. And I was even saying this, like sometimes it's not every day London or Manny or Brum. Like it's nice to see other cities getting love as well. So the fact that, you know, the East Midlands crew, you know, shout out DMU, shout out Loughborough, that's the alumni. But yeah, it's like seeing the East Midland crew get love, whether it's Nottingham, whether it's Derby. You never know, there could be some big fighters coming out from Leicester. So yeah, it's time for some other cities to get the shine. You see what Boxer's doing up in Newcastle with Savannah Marshall. So I like the possibility of that, just diversification through for the boxers. And like I said, the more you can grow the market, hopefully less corrupt decisions, the more the sport grows, the more, you know, the prize fighters get in terms of their money reward. So I'm here for it.
There is one question I was going to ask you on. You said about growing the market,
Yeah.
but sometimes is there too much competition on at the same night where you can't go ahead and watch it fully? What I mean by that is, so even, and I know boxing and MMA is different,
Yeah.
even just on the planning side of things, you said about like BT Sport Boxing, Frank Warren, he put his card on at the same time as UFC London.
Yeah.
So just smart marketing on that side of things. Is there a bit too much going on at the same time that hinders boxing?
Here's the thing. I think it's poor timing on Queensbury's side, because you're always going to have MMA fans, then you're going to have boxing fans, and then what you're jostling for is going to be the casual fans after that. My personal opinion is that unless it's a massive boxing fight, the
Casual.
UFC's machine is so big that they will get more casual fans watching their fights. And especially, well, you've seen when you watch the UFC, you see the production, you see like how much value they put into certain things, and that's always been a complaint about certain promotions, that your production value is poor. Whereas UFC, like I've taken some friends to UFC events before, some of them that were more boxing fans than they were MMA fans, and they've gone to the UFC fights and said, "No, I'm locked into this sport now. This is like the way they've run this event is amazing." And I've seen so many. I saw I'm so upset I've forgotten his name.
Joshua was there.
Fraser, the boxer signed to boxer.
Yeah.
But Fraser, I've forgotten his surname. Apologies about that. But he even said he was at the UFC yesterday because he was there with like Chisora and Eddie Hearn. And he was saying that, yeah, the fan base there is incredible, production there's incredible. And then it was funny seeing on socials that a lot of boxing fans were like in denial. Oh, you're just saying that it looks pretty dead to me. I'm like, what are you in denial of? Like the UFC has been known to have a better product. Yes, they could pay their fighters more, but that's another argument. But if we're talking about production and the product they deliver, the UFC gives you more bang for your buck to the casuals. And I think that is what boxing promoters need to do. And one thing I respect Eddie Hearn for is that he's openly said that, yes, I do like follow a lot what the UFC does, because you can tell from their production.
He was there yesterday. And I saw it. I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
But the thing is, he's open to learning. Like, and I think Oscar De La Hoya, even though he's butted heads with Dana White in the past as well, I believe Oscar De La Hoya said the same in the past as well. Is that, listen, you have to learn from the UFC's production, because what they have done to like grow their product is amazing. And I think boxing lost that because they got too greedy, and you know, they relied so much on their pay-per-view stars that they forgot that you have to give a better product all around. Like, even when people speak on the UFC cards and they say, listen, throughout the whole card is quality. It's not just a case of, especially yesterday, there was so many finishes in the UFC card. It's not just a case of, let's just wait for the main event. And that happens a lot in boxing. So I think this is opportunity for boxing to up its game, to put more money in places other than just the main event. Because in order to, it's all good bringing through boxing fans, but the real money is in also bringing through the casuals. And I think that going up against UFC might have been a mistake, especially with not one of your bigger shows. But then again, if it's just a case of you just want to bring in the boxing purists, then yeah, that's all good.
And with that, we are going to wrap up today's episode. It was a little quick one just to give you guys a little recap of what's happened over the weekend. But as always, if you are enjoying the content, you know exactly what to do. Share, like, and subscribe on on the YouTube page. We're pointing that way. Follow us on all our socials. The Instagram's _ the weigh in _ the Twitter handle _ the weigh in _ as well. With that, bro, quick final words, bro. What can we get from you before we wrap up?
Listen, man, get my fighters paid more. That's it. Get the fighters paid more. Happy fighters, happy fights, and get these big fights made. That's all I'm asking.
Perfect, bro. We're gonna wrap up there, and thank you again for watching. Ray, as always,
Love as always.
So with that, everyone, peace out.